he's going to be looking at a 1720 Châtelaine map. I won't steal his thunder by describing it, but I would like to say something about his website, lithuanianmaps.com, which is a very useful research. He's often involved in making map presentations. New York Public Library would be an example, and naturally the Lithuanian consulate in New York. He has a BI in biological illustration. And again, one thing I notice how interesting people's backgrounds are when I hear about our presenters. So anyway, without more ado, over to you, Andrew.
Thank you very much. Welcome everyone, and labas to any Lithuanian speakers who might be on. This is a map titled Poland, along with the chronology of its kings and the dukes of Lithuania, and published in 1720 from the third edition of volume 4 of Châtelain's Atlas Historique. The actual engraving is, you might say, is retro. It's after Delisle, and there were much better maps of the area that were available at the time. So the first point I'd like to make is that this is not a map of Poland. This is a map of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and calling it Poland is on the order of showing a map of the UK and titling it England. So it's lots of maps of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth that were titled Poland, and as far as any Lithuanian is concerned, it's mislabeled. I have 2 patents in address correction and verification and used by most large companies. And the ones that have customers outside the United States, the standard default for any address in the UK is to change the country name to UK. And one of the features of my software is retain England, retain Scotland, retain Wales, because you're going to annoy your customers if you change the name of the country they're from. On the next page, I just wanted to show a couple of different ways you might find this map. It's not particularly rare. I bought it from a fellow collector about 20 years ago for $200. You can still get it for probably for under $500. What's most interesting is on the next slide, and that is the charts. And I say it's a fanciful chronology because they're lodged in the nation-building myths of Poland and Lithuania. The central chronology of the Teutonic Order is pretty much on target, but the Polish chronology is quite interesting. You notice the first name there is Lechus, and this goes back to a founding myth that there was a fellow named Pan who had 3 sons. He had Lech, who on a hunting trip went his own way and founded Poland. You may remember that first name from Lech Walesa, the Polish freedom fighter from quite a few years ago. A second son was Czech, and he founded Czechoslovakia. And the third son was Rus, and he founded Russia. But the actual first known Polish ruler was actually Duke Mieszko I, who adopted Christianity under the authority of Rome in 966 and was succeeded by his son Boleslav the Brave, who was the first king in 1025. The chronology of Lithuania is also quite interesting because Lithuanians felt kind of forgotten. They the ruling nobility became Polonized. It was considered the height of society to learn Polish. And notice that the Polish chronology begins in 550. So of course the Lithuanian mythology has to be a lot earlier. So variously, Lithuanians were founded by either Greeks or Romans in the year 57. So of course they're 450 years or more before the Polish founding. And one of those myths is 500 Roman noblemen led by Duke Palamon or Publius Libon fled Rome and populated totally empty Lithuanian lands. In reality, in 1253, the first Grand Duke, Mindaugas, which is Mendog in Polish and Mengog on the map, was the first one who united Lithuanian tribes. And he was the Grand Duke, but he was also crowned king after agreeing to be baptized as a Catholic and to give up some land in Western Lithuania to the Livonian Order, which was an autonomous branch of the Teutonic Order formed in 1237. His kingship didn't last too long. He was assassinated along with his son 10 years later, and Lithuania reverted to be governed by Grand Dukes after that. The next slide. You'll see on the map and everywhere on the internet, on dealer websites and in respected catalogs and collector websites, they date this map 1714 because that was the date of the first edition of Atlas Historique. What I did, however, was actually look at the different editions, and I thank you very much to an article in IMCoS number 120, which listed volume 4's publishing history. It's only volume 4 that has a map of Poland. So there are only 2 valid dates. The third edition, 1720, which has at the top right volume 4, page 20, and the fourth edition, published 735, volume 4, page 18. Every iteration of this map that I've seen online has 1714 or 1718, and that's only because they were looking at the dates of publication of the Atlas. So next slide. It's easy to accurately date this map. The version published 1720 has number 20 as the page number, and they didn't work very hard to change the page number in 1735. They did a very sloppy 18 right on top of the 20. So anyone can accurately date this map by checking the upper right corner for that page number. So that's all. I'll say ačiū, thank you in Lithuanian. And here are 2 sites that I founded, LithuanianMaps.com and LithuanianJournal.org. I'm happy to report that LithuanianMaps.com is in the process of being transferred to a platform hosted by the Lithuanian Cartographic Society. And that transfer is being partially funded by Lithuania's Ministry of Foreign Affairs because they've decided it's a national resource. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Andrew. And that's a great note to be ending on. I always like to hear about maps being valued more highly and, of course, the cultural context being given.